One of these men is the only chaplain in the United States Submarine Service. What is your name, please?
My name is Lieutenant John Laboon.
What is your name, please?
My name is Lieutenant John Laboon.
What is your name, please?
My name is Lieutenant John Laboon.
Two of these people are imposters. Only one is the real Lieutenant John Laboon and is the only one sworn to tell the truth. Now, here is our host, Bud Collier.
Thank you very much, and welcome once again to Tell the Truth. Now may I introduce our panel. What is your name, please?
My name is Polly Bergen.
My name is Ralph Bellamy.
My name is Kitty Carlisle.
My name is Tom Poston.
Now, panel, will you please follow along with your copies of this first affidavit as I read it? I, Lieutenant John Laboon, am a Catholic chaplain assigned to the Submarine Service of the United States Navy. I graduated from the Naval Academy at Annapolis in 1943 and was later assigned to the submarine Pito as diving officer. During a mission off Japan, I swam to the rescue of a downed carrier pilot and under enemy shore fire got him safely back aboard the Pito. For this, I was awarded the Silver Star. After the war, I resigned from the Navy to study for the priesthood. I re-enlisted and am now the only man in the Navy entitled to wear both the Cross of the Chaplain Service and the Dolphins of the Submarine Service. Signed, Father John Laboon. Well, you've just heard these three gentlemen all claim to be Father John Laboon, chaplain in the Submarine Service. We'll begin tonight's questioning with Ralph Bellamy. Ralph?
Number one, where is the main submarine base on the East Coast?
New London, Connecticut.
Number two is a river running through that town. I'm going to try and get a right answer this time. Will you name it and spell it, please?
Thames, sometimes called the Thames, sometimes called the Thames.
All right. Not too helpful. Number three, at what rank does one graduate from Annapolis?
Normally, the graduate is an ensign in the United States Navy.
Ensign, did you say?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Number one, by what authority is the Silver Star awarded?
The President.
Number two, who presented you with the Silver Star?
Admiral Medill at the Brooklyn Navy Yard.
Number three, you graduated in 43. How old were you when you graduated?
22.
22. How old are you now?
38.
Number one, how old were you when you graduated?
22.
22. Number two, how old were you when you graduated?
I was 22.
Oh, 22.
22 and what?
It works out right. I just hope I might catch him there.
Okay, Kitty Carlisle.
Number one, battleships are named after states. What are submarines named after?
Fish, usually.
And number two, what is the name of the newest Navy submarine?
The George Washington.
That's a fish?
No, that is not a fish. The newest atomic submarines are named personally by the President of the United States, and they are named after distinguished men, such as George Washington, the Patrick Henry, the Abraham Lincoln, and the Robert E. Lee will be the next four Polaris missile submarines.
Number three, what is the number on the tower of the Nautilus?
I believe the number is 575.
Tom Poston.
Thank you, Bud. May I ask you a question? Maybe you can answer it. Are all of the costumes of the panelists regulation for this, for Lieutenant Laboon?
Are you asking me?
Well, maybe you can ask them. How can I ask the right Laboon?
Well, they're all old costumes of mine that I had from a former show.
If the right Laboon would please stand up, I'd be glad to ask him if these costumes are all... Oh, well, anyway, I'll start with number one. Can you tell me what time is it on a ship when it's 8 bells?
Well, it can be several different times. It can be 4, 8, 12.
And?
That's all.
Well, how do you know whether it's AM or PM?
I guess it doesn't matter much on a submarine.
Okay, Polly Bergen.
Number 2, in the song Anchors Away, how do you spell away?
Aweigh.
Number 3, where are submarines built in the East?
At Electric Boat Company in Groton, Connecticut.
Number 1, what is the basic difference, the one difference between a naval uniform and a Coast Guard uniform? Number 1.
Well,
That's a very good difference, and it's time to vote. Without consultation, panel, will you please mark your ballots, and in so doing, as always, vote for number 1, number 2, or number 3. And of course, remember, the team of challengers, as always, will get $250 for every incorrect vote. Okay, panel, have you all marked your ballots? Polly, have you? Polly?
I haven't the vaguest idea who it is.
Just, you know...
What do you do in a case?
First impressions are always the best.
Yeah.
Okay. For whom did you vote?
Well, it was eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and 3 landed on Mo, so that's who I voted for.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and 3 landed on... Well, okay.
I started with you, but...
Oh, I see. I'm sorry. I'm Eeny. Ralph, what's your vote?
Number 3. He was very quick with the age answer, which was right, and I think the other 2 hesitated, and he looks as if he might have made that swim, too.
Okay, Kitty, your selection.
I voted for number 2. They all look like heroes, but I think number 2 also looks like a chaplain.
And Tom Poston.
I also voted for number 2 on the basis of the wonderful intelligence of his answers. I think number 3 is perhaps a real Navy man, and I thought it was number 1 in the beginning. And
And you're turning into Polly
so
Bergen.
I can't count so well, so Mo came out 2 in my case.
Okay, Eeny speaking, and the votes are all in. Now, I hope your votes at home are in, too, because if you're playing fair and square with us, let's see who's right and who's wrong, as we discover which one of these 3 gentlemen is the real chaplain in the submarine service. So will the real Father John Laboon please stand up? Thank you very much, sir. Number 1, would you tell us who you really are and what you do, please?
my name is John McHale. I'm an editor of national news at the New York Times.
Thank you. And number 2, what about you, sir?
My name is Gordon Dupuy. I'm a director of the Great Books Foundation and with Encyclopedia Britannica in Chicago.
Thank you. Well, in checking up on our score, we see that there were exactly 2 incorrect votes at $250 each for a total of $500 from Marlboro gentlemen. Thanks very much for being with us. On your way out, you'll find a carton of Marlboro cigarettes for each of you. Good night, good luck, but more important, God bless you. Now, panel, let's meet our second team of challengers.
What are your names, please?
My name is Count Nicholas, and this is my daughter Rosalie.
What are your names, please?
My name is Rosalie Nicholas, and this is my father, Count Nicholas.
What are your names, please?
My name is Rosalie Nicholas.
And I am Count Nicholas.
Okay, panel, stop staring and follow along, if you will, with your copies of this affidavit. We, Count Nicholas and Rosalie Nicholas, are father and daughter. Both of us have been in circus work since we were very young. I, Count Nicholas, started with Ringling Brothers as a property man when I was 16. Rosalie started working in a trained bear act when she was 3 years old. We are now both working with the Clyde Beatty Cole Brothers Combined Circus. I am the ringmaster, and Rosalie doubles as elephant girl and trapeze artist. Signed, Count Nicholas and Rosalie Nicholas. All right, panel, you've heard these people all claim to be teams, father and daughter. Count Nicholas and Rosalie Nicholas, circus performers. Let's begin this round of questioning with Polly Bergen. Polly?
Thank you, Bud. Count number 1. What is an understander?
An understander is the man in an acrobatic act who is lying on the ground and taking the whole pile on it.
I see. Rosalie, number 2. Who is Harold Alzano?
Alzano was a famous high-wire worker.
Let's see. Rosalie, number 1. What is the name of the man who stands on one finger?
Eunice.
Eunice. Rosalie, number 3. There is a family that down through the centuries has always shot themselves out of cannons. What is the name of that family?
Hugo Sacchini or the other family Sacchini.
Pretty nice trick to shoot yourself out of a cannon. Ralph, please.
Count number 1. Who is the public relations man for Ringling Brothers? Well, Rosalie, number 1, do you know? Well,
No, I don't.
Rosalie, number 2, who's the public relations man for Ringling?
I believe it's Kelly.
Count number 2, you agree?
I agree.
You agree, all right. Rosalie, number 3, what's the origin of the term tan bark?
What is the what?
The origin of the term tan bark.
I don't believe I know.
Count number 3.
Sawdust.
Okay, that snuck over the line there. Kitty, please.
Number 1, you all look exactly like father and daughter, but would you mind turning to your right so I can see your profiles? No, count number. Okay, that's it. Both the same way. That's it. No, you hold it. No, more that way. More to your right. Yes. Now, would you mind doing that, number 2? And number 3?
They're already doing
They
it.
all have the same. Oh, it's terrible. Number 2, where's your circus playing now?
In Palisades Amusement Park.
Palisades. Number 3, what do you wear as an elephant girl?
Just a plain leotard with sequins.
Nothing. No cape.
No.
Do you wear a cape, number 1?
No.
Do you wear a cape, number 2?
It depends on the act.
As the
elephant girl, no.
You don't.
No.
Well, if you were going to play in Paris, where would you play count number 1?
At the Medrano.
Oh. Well, all right.
Tom Poston, please.
I would like to ask Rosalie, number 3, what was the name of the bear act you worked in?
Rosalie's bear.
Pardon me?
Rosalie's bear.
Why didn't you wear your costume tonight? Count number 2, please. What is the Spanish web in a circus?
That's the rope that it's coated for the girls to climb up, or the men, either one.
Thank you. Rosalie, number 2, what is the traditional call for help in a circus, especially in the case of a fight?
Oh, hey, Rube.
That's it. On the note of Hey Rube, it's time to vote without consultation once again. Will you mark your ballots and vote for number 1, team number 2, or team number 3? All set, everybody? Polly, you mullet.
This show's getting harder and harder. I tell you that I really...
Well, for whom have you are you voted? For
when
whom
he's
will
going
you
like
vote?
this, like I should hurry.
Yes, you should hurry.
Oh, all right.
All right. For whom did you vote? Which
Well,
team?
I'm positive it's number 3 because they but
Well, then why don't
number
you vote
3
for number
Well,
3?
because she didn't know what tan whatever it was.
You don't want to vote for number 3, you vote for number 2. Okay.
No, I'd change it. No.
Now, do what you like. Make it quick, though.
All right, I'll vote for number 3.
Number 3. You're voting for number 3.
If I'm wrong, I'll never
Okay, Ralph
speak to you
Bellamy,
again.
please.
Number 3, mainly on the way they answered to their names and the speed with which they answered the question.
Okay, Kitty, your vote?
Well, I voted for number 1. I think it's number 3, too, but on the basis of their profiles, I voted for... They look more like father and daughter sideways.
Okay, and Tom Poston.
I voted for number 2. The Spanish web is a very significant circus term, and he answered it quickly. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to ask the number 2 people a little more questions, but I think it's number 2.
Okay, thank you very much. There we have the votes in. Mine's made up. Let's see whether we're right or wrong. And which of these father and daughter teams are the real Count and Rosalie Nicholas? Now, will the real Count Nicholas please introduce his daughter?
High above the center ring, Clyde Cole Brothers Combined Circus proudly presents the queen of the big top, beautiful Rosalie Nicholas.
happy? You see,
Yeah,
your first
guess.
impression was right, wasn't it?
I thought it was them, but she didn't know what sawdust was. Of course, I didn't know what it was either.
Okay, number one team, would you tell us who you really are and what you do? First, Rosalie, number one.
My name is Beatrice Myla. I'm a singer, and I own the OPEX Tailoring Company.
Thank you. And Count, what about you, sir?
My name is William Meyer, and I'm the reservation manager for Lufthansa German Airlines.
Thank you. Team number two, Rosalie first.
My name is Maria Kummer, and I'm a student at Washington Irving High School.
Thank you. And Count?
My name is Jack Payton. I'm president of the John G. Payton Sales Promotion Consultants.
So there we are, and checking up on the score. After a lot of colorful fun, we find that we have 2 incorrect votes at $250 each, same as the first round, for a total of $500 from Marlboro. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for being with us tonight. On your way out, you'll find cartons of Marlboros. Good night, good luck, and happy high flying. Okay, panel, let's meet our next team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Dwayne Slater.
What is your name, please?
My name is Dwayne Slater.
What is your name, please?
My name is Dwayne Slater.
Again, panel, will you follow along with your copies of this affidavit? I, Dwayne Slater, am one of the best-known ladies' hairstylists in the country today. In addition to operating my own hair fashion salon, I also travel about the United States under the auspices of the National Hairdressers Association, lecturing and demonstrating the latest fashions in hairstyles. My background is rather unusual for my type of work. I am a former amateur wrestler and professional football player. For 2 seasons, I played right halfback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Signed, Dwayne Slater. All right, panel, now we have 3 gentlemen all claiming to be Dwayne Slater, leading hairdresser in the United States. Let's start this round with Tom Poston. Tom?
Thank you, Bud. Listen, do you mind if I start this spot off
Not
with
a
a bang? Dwayne, number 1. Which one of us has the Tony?
Well, I can say you need it.
Stop kidding around, Dwayne. Dwayne, number 2, could you describe the starting position in an amateur wrestling bout?
Usually, you just take position with your hands out and feet spread out, ready to go.
Thank you. Number 1, do you agree with that?
Well, usually the starting position is on the hands and knees with one man taking the advantage.
Thank you. Would you repeat that, please, for the rest of the panel?
Louder.
One person on their hands and knees, and the opponent has the advantage on top of him.
Wait a minute, Bud. I have one more. It's a joke.
Quick.
Can I tell it?
Hurry up.
Should I ask it? Number 3, what's the starting position in a professional hairdressing bout?
Polly, please.
Number 2, when you go in to have your hair set and trimmed and washed, in what order do you get it done?
Well, usually it's washed first.
Yeah.
Then it's cut.
Yeah,
Then it's let to dry. Then it's set.
I see. I beg your pardon?
What was that again?
No.
Usually it's washed.
Yes. No, after it's cut, what did you say?
It's usually left to, it's dried and set.
I see. Number 3, do you use bobby pins or hair pins in a pin curl?
You mean personally or on his customer?
No, on customer.
I use neither. I use curlers.
I beg your pardon?
I use neither. I use curlers.
You use curlers. Number 1, what do you use those things to
I don't know too much about this. Number 1, have you ever... how do I ask it? What's the newest innovation in hair rollers?
Newest innovation in hair rollers? Nylon.
I don't know whether it's right or wrong. Number 1. Have you ever made any of the, been in the studios in California?
Yes.
Who's the head hairdresser at Columbia Studio?
Oh, I think Helen Hunt.
Number 2, who originates popular styles?
Who originates popular styles?
Yes, in hair.
Well, usually hairdressers in the profession.
All right, number 3. I'm out of the subject of hair now. That's all I know. Describe a half Nelson.
A half Nelson? Shall I put it on my friend next to me?
If you like.
All right.
This is just about it.
All right. Number 1.
Kitty Carlisle.
Number 1, which is more expensive, a cold wave or an electric permanent wave?
Well, I think nowadays you would say electric wave because they're a little
More expensive. Number 2, which is, how do you do a Marcel? What kind of a wave do you do that with?
Marcel wave?
Yeah.
Well, it's not too much different than the rest of them. I mean, you usually learn to...
Number 3, do you think beer's any good for your hair to set it?
Pardon me?
The only difference...
Do you think beer's any good to set your hair?
I think anything is good to set your hair.
What is the new,
Alcoholic, I'm talking
What
about.
is the new curler? The new curler. What's the newest?
It's called a half Nelson.
No, wait.
I'm sorry, the time is up. You must cast your ballots now.
Well, they get time to be brief. Come on now.
Okay, please mark your ballots, and in so doing, select number 1.
Any of them.
Number 2.
It isn't any of them.
Or number 3.
Never set a hair in their life.
Okay. All right, have you marked your hairstyles?
Oh, for goodness sake, no.
All right, put a curl in your ballot, and let's go. Holly, for whom did you cast your vote?
Well, I voted for number 1. It really isn't any of them. Number 3 says he sets pin curls with rollers, and I don't understand that. And, number 2 says he lets the hair dry after it's cut before he sets it, and you set it and then let it dry. And number 1 said the new innovation in hair rollers was nylon. I thought it was brushes inside, but he came the closest, so I vote for him. But I'm glad I set my own.
I hope you never change, Polly. Ralph, your vote, please, if you can.
Number 1, he knew Helen Hunt was the head hairdresser at Columbia Studios.
Is that all you have to say?
Number
All right,
1,
Kitty.
that's the only thing that any of them makes me think is a hairdresser, because number 2 is going to dry. So, well, I can't get over setting the hair after it's all.
That's the reason I made him repeat.
All right, Tom Poston, your vote.
Marcel was the same as any other kind of a thing. It's got to be done with an iron.
Your vote, please, Tom.
I did. I voted for number 1. I heard about him. He's the guy in the huddle that said, all right, fellas, we're going to go with number 39. And Wojciechowski, after the game, I want to talk to you about your dandruff.
Okay. Now, the votes are all in. We've all parted our hair in the middle, and let's find out which of these 3 gentlemen is the real leading hairdresser. So will the real Dwayne Slater please stand up? And came back strong. Thank you very much, Mr. Slater. Number 2, would you tell us who you really are?
My name is Joe Bagnotto. I'm a golf professional. I teach at the Westchester Golf Range, Route 100B, White Plains, New York.
Thank you. All right, number 3, would you tell us who you are, please, and what you do?
My name is Will Westgate, and I sell lithography for the McCandless Lithograph Company here in New York.
And you curl your own hair.
That's right.
What I have. All right, there we have it now, and in checking the score, we find 100% for the panel, which means, of course, $150 as a consolation for you gentlemen. Thank you very much, and happy hairstyling. Good night. On the way out, you'll find cartons of Marlboro cigarettes for each of you. We'll be back in just a moment. That's all the time we have for tonight, except good night, panel.
Good night, Bud.
Now, this is Bud Collier saying good night and reminding you from Marlboro to tell the truth. Good night, everybody.
To Tell the Truth is the Mark Goodson Bill Godwin collection in association with the CBS television network. Miss Bergen's Gown by Wilmot.